Friday, the 30th of December, and it's the final trading day of 2022. And the Nigerian Exchange decided it has to be a special closing gong. And I am here to report about it.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you all to the final trading day of the year 2022. We are delighted that you're all gathered here with us. We have a very special guest in our midst, who many would say needs no introduction. Thank you very much. I will make some remarks very quickly. I'll ask Kemi to also make some remarks, and I think Madam Sobowale as well, just so that our day is also ticked. But it's a delight to have her here with us.
I do understand what an honor this is, and I do recognize as well that I'm just not standing here just as Kemi Adetiba. I'm carrying the entire Nigerian entertainment industry on my back, and so with that I am very grateful. Up until recently, our greatest export, I think we'll all agree, has been oil. But I also think that we'll agree that recently entertainment has kind of pushed Nigeria into the global stream and added, I should say, a lot to the coffers of the Nigerian economy. We've also it's also helped to rebrand ourselves in the international space. I think a lot of our films have been shown in some of the biggest international festivals. If you've watched King of Boys' Wedding Party, you also know that we're breaking records on some of the streaming giants, whether it's Netflix or Amazon Prime. And even the music industry, our Nigerian, the musicians are gracing some of the largest stages. We're winning Grammys and things all over the world. So with that, I say that I am very humbled to be here, and I hope, I would say, Mr. Sobowale, I hope maybe at some point, maybe some key players one day will be listed here at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. What do you think? So with that, I would say thank you, and here's to a very, very prosperous, financially prosperous 2023.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
It's a big honor to be standing right in front of everyone here today, and I'm glad that Kemi invited me. When I was asked to make comments, I said that I know nothing about exchange. I listened to him when he spoke, and everybody's belief, even, let me use myself as an example, you got to have money to be part of this. It's an eye-opener, and I'm glad that I'm here. So I'm taking this home to everybody that, this is where you got to be.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think so. I think she did a remarkable job. We can give her a round of applause, please.
The whole idea of the market this year was that we're coming with the COVID pandemic for 2020. 2021, the floor was closed for a year plus. And I'm beginning to ask, first and foremost, how did you, dealing firms, survive these very troubled 2 years, if you add 2022 into it?
I would say that we've been lucky that we've had proactive management at the stock exchange that are prepared to move the exchange from analog to digital ahead of the pandemic. Pandemic struck, and despite the pandemic, we were able to continue to trade on a remote basis throughout the time the exchange was closed until we're open now. So, and you will see that even during that time of the closure, the exchange probably did better than when we were back physical. Now we are back physical. We also continue to see the benefit of that hindsight, the benefit of preparing ahead by ensuring that we have a digital exchange that enables you to trade anywhere you are in the world. And I will only say kudos to the exchange for being proactive and preparing us for that for those.
For you were a president of this Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers during this very difficult time period. Okay, so my point was that how did the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers as a body rose to the challenges of the past 2 years, and again for this year in terms of the macroeconomic environment, inflation, high interest rates environment? How did you folks were able to navigate it all?
Again, I mean, it's also proactive planning, effective management, ensuring you prepare for all eventualities in case they do arise. So, I mean, we have also gone digital at the exchange. So our training, our examinations were such that people could take them anywhere they are in the world, even prior to the pandemic. So when the pandemic struck, we just, essentially activated our backup plan, and we kickstarted it, and before you know it, we have people being able to take exams from Singapore, from Hong Kong, from the US, from the UK, and we're good to go. Our trainings also went virtual, almost 100% virtual, which increased the number of participants, both in terms of players and in terms of investors that are able to participate in that training. So we believe that the pandemic was a double-edged sword because, I mean, obviously it didn't allow us to be able to do some of the things we would have done physically, but the advantage, the positive side of it is that because of technology, we were actually able to reach more people than we would probably typically be able to reach if we were doing our activities on a physical basis.
In a manner of speaking, were you brokers able to grow your market, your clientele, within this very difficult time?
I will say so. I mean, surprisingly we were. The first digital offer, as you know, in the market, MTN, happened during the pandemic. Look at what happened. Typically, the largest IPO in this market prior to the digital offer, MTN, at best, maybe you get 20,000 subscribers. With MTN, we got close to 200,000 subscribers. You will agree with me that that would not have been possible without digitalization. That would not have been possible without the use of social media, use of technology. All right, so we've seen that. We've seen that has succeeded. We can only go from here up. All right, so I'm looking towards the day where a digital offer will come to this market and we actually touch that 1 million mark of being able to get 1 million subscribers buying shares digitally in this marketplace. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm happy for you. You've been on this market for many years. You've seen the market transform from being a manual to electronic, and electronic to digital. So, but this year had been very interesting in a number of the environment. The disposable income for investors became weak. Disposable income became very rare. So I'm beginning to ask very critically again, do you think this market for this year was really profitable? Yeah, we're quoting about 18% index return, so that is good on paper, but again, in real terms.
Well, in real terms, I mean, if you are looking at inflation at 21%, one might say that an 18% return is effectively negative returns in real terms. But if you look at our market vis-a-vis other global markets, most global markets, as you know, actually close in the negative. All right, so for us to have a market that actually closed in the positive, and not only single digit positive, but double digit positive, it shows you in its strength in that marketplace. So if everything were to normalize, if we get to a point where we get very good transition, we get stable macroeconomic policies, then this market could do much more than it did. All right, this is my own takeaway from what we have done this year.
This is just the year for 2022, and I am really wondering, in terms of from a strategic point of view of the exchange, how much have you been able to achieve from what you onboarded earlier in the year? Now you're having it wrapped up today.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, I think that this year we set out to do a few things. We set out first to do what I call the low-hanging fruits. We asked ourselves, are there some key strategic listings that we can get to the exchange this year? Because as you know, the lifeblood of our market, our capital market, really is how do you get primary transactions to the exchange, good profitable companies, good profitable transactions. And I think from that respect, we would call this a successful year. We had a landmark listing of Boa Foods at the start of this year. That transaction alone added over R1 trillion worth to our market capitalization. We're very excited with that transaction. We also had Geregu, which was the first generating power company to be listed on the exchange this year also. So that also we were very pleased about. We had a host of other transactions. We had landmark fixed income listings as well. For example, BOA raised quite a large amount of money from the fixed income markets, Dangote Industries as well. You had the Lagos Free Zone also, transaction. It was also very good to see a company from the Free Zone also do a transaction on the capital markets and look to dip in that. So I think from the first lens, that's one of the things that we set out to do. The other thing is around this issue around innovation, technology. We've always asked ourselves at the exchange how we can do more to attract capital formation to the exchange through all that's happening within the technology sector. We had the rules of our technology board approved by the regulator this year as well, so that we found quite remarkable. Away from that, we had strong partnerships this year. We announced partnerships with the Dubai financial markets this year, with the Bank of Industry, with MTN. So I think overall it's been a year that we think has been quite successful. It's also difficult to take credit when markets go up, but at least I think we can take it for this year. Double-digit, sort of performance versus weakness across many global markets. Overall, I think it's been a good year for us.
Very interesting. One of the deals that's coming to the market this year was the power generation Geregu Power Company. Now we've got a development investment unit of Afrexim Bank, which is FEDA, looking to invest in Geregu Power as a strategic minority shareholder. What's your take on this deal? When is it likely to come through?
Okay, thank you very much. It's very difficult for me to comment on that specific deal, but I'll keep my comments to all that's available publicly. One of the things that we say is that, listing your company on the exchange, right, listed corporates actually attract more capital. And I think this is one such example of that because, financiers, people who have capital, rightly believe that listed companies, they're better governed, they're more responsible, they pay more taxes and things of that like. So I think that's been a very strong story overall. The other beauty to that is that now we're seeing at least foreign capital come into that sector also through the capital markets. We think that's been quite encouraging. So at least going by, as I said, some of the publicly made comments, we are excited about that transaction and we'll look forward to its closure.
Give me an insight into the NGX Limited playbook for 2023.
Okay, thank you very much. I think 2023, as with anybody who's doing business in Nigeria, will be the year defined by the elections. So I think first and foremost, we're all hoping and looking forward to successful elections come February. But I think that right after that, what we think will happen and what we hope will happen is that the capital market should be a mechanism to catalyze a lot of the ambitions of the new administration. So whether these are ambitions around capital formation, around wealth creation, around, raising finances for the government, around attracting foreign capital to the economy, across several things. We think that the capital market becomes central to that. So I think it's a year that will be defined by the political sort of, connotation. We also do think that it's a year that Nigeria, reopens back to global capital. We do expect that capital should flow back into our country. And finally, I spoke earlier about some of the partnerships that we've done, some of the products that we have in the offing. We do think that next year we should be able to scale those, technology listings to the exchange, more listings, proper quality companies, new products around digital assets, for example, around fixed income derivatives. There's a lot that we think should happen next year.
Congratulations for 2022.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations for the new year ahead.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And that's the market for this year. We hope to see you in 2023 from the Nigerian Exchange Group trading floor in central Lagos. I am Bosun Omofaye for Arise News.